Serious. Yeah, we used to cook soup. We put marijuana in it. We cook porridge. We cook vegetables. Yes. Yes, my name is Serant Howell. I'm 59 years old. In September I'll be 60. And I've been a Muslim now for 15 years. September it will be 16 years. Yes, I'm from Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica. Born by the Sea Jubilee Hospital in Kingston. Anyone who knows Kingston, born Kingstonians. Well, basically, I'm Christians. My grandfather was a Baptist, was a Church of God preacher in the church. So my mom, definitely a Christian, even though she didn't go to church. We had to go to church every Sunday. We had to go to Sunday school every Sunday. We went to church like 3 times, 4 times for the week. So Christianity was the religion. Being a Christian, because I was moving all around the country and living here and there, I was a Church of God man, then I was a Catholic. So while being a Catholic, I'm sitting there listening to them saying, Hail Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners. And I'm wondering, does God have a mother? And it's like, stuck in my brains. And I'm saying, how can God have a mother? So he has a father. So in this religion still, I didn't know anything else. So I stuck to this religion until around age 22. Something happened in my life and I went solitary like. My hair started growing and my beard started growing. And someone said, yo, you look like a Rasta. I said, yeah. Well, so I just became a Rasta, because didn't have any firm conviction in Christianity. But one thing as a Christian, going to church was the thing. Then now as a Rasta man, the thing was we read the Bible a chapter a day. That was like, they say a chapter a day keeps the devil away. And we would all walk with our Bible in our back pockets, these Rasta men, 12 tribes, Rasta men, we would walk with our Bible. So it became so that I could recite even 20 Psalms, could tell you about the Bible from Genesis straight back to Revelation, That was it, basically, I got to love the Bible and reading it a chapter a day takes you like 365 days. 3.5 years, I mean, to complete it and read every chapter. And then I was reading the Bible, you come over certain things, Son of God, and then, Son of God again, and you read them and you see Son of God again. So it was like confusing, but being a Christian, I say, oh, it's all right. That going until I was like 44 years old. Then I started moving around these gangsters, as you would call them, But one of them was a Muslim. We didn't know, until one day I said, oh, I'm a Muslim, And I said, who are Muslim, Hezbollah or Hamas? And he's like, okay, stop there. So he invited me to come and live with them to help them in their work that they were doing. So I went, and I'm there and we're doing things that wasn't good, And one day he said, would you like to read a Quran? I said, what's the Quran? And he said, it's the book that the Muslims read. And I said, probably. And then one night he gave me and said, here's the Quran, man, take a read and see if you like it. So I took it from him that night. I went in my room, going to sleep, and I said, let me see what this book is about. So I took out the Quran and I opened it. And it was like English and, the Yusuf Ali Quran. So I read it in English and said, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, and said, most gracious, most merciful. So who is this? Who can be most gracious? So I started reading and I read Surah Al-Fatiha and I read Baqarah and then I read Imran. And I kept on reading because this book sounds so interesting. Right away, just like that, the book was interesting because I was a reader before. So I figured I'm just reading a book, And so I read the book and went to bed late that night. Got up the next day, going back to do bad things again. Went back the next night, read the book till I finished it, you know. And he said, how was that? I said, a very enlightening book. It answered some questions that I was asking myself, but I still don't know what this religion is. Then he gave me a book on the life of the prophet, yeah? And I read that, and that's what got me. This man, I said, does a man like this really existed? I said, yeah, man. You know, it started to say, yeah, man, this man existed 1400 and odd years ago. I said, serious? And I said, yeah. So started giving me more literature, you know? And I kept reading. He didn't tell me to be a Muslim or tell me, he just gave me literatures and I read. I started looking at things and I'm saying, I'm 44 years old. And this book is telling me a lot of things I didn't know. Alhamdulillah. So after a year, I was 44 when I got the Quran, and 45, on my birthday one day I came and I said, I want to be a Muslim. I'd love to be one of the companions of this man. And he said, you sure? I said, yeah, it took me a year to find all that I needed, and I'm totally convinced that this is a good religion. Yeah? Not like what we've been hearing on the news. No, it took 1 year because I wanted to make certain that this religion was authentic. And it wasn't like the Rasta without boundaries and, you know? And then with all it told me what I had to do before I did prayer, what I had to do, the intention, the cleanliness, and I'm saying, and I had to do it 5 times a day. So there was this structure. But so all of this, that's what took me a year to find out what it required. And I said, this religion is ordered. It brings order. Not like being a Rasta man. I'm doing bad things. I'm going to the nightclub. I have a girlfriend. You know, many girls have children without being married. So, as I said, the only concern I had before becoming a Muslim was, how am I going to read this book, the Quran, the one that's the Arabic? Because it says you have to do your prayer in Arabic. So that was one of the main concerns. But the brother said, don't worry, man, read it in English. Allah is the greatest. The Lord is the greatest. Now He will help you if you are sincere. I went and took Shahada, and everybody was glad, and they coming and telling me that, brother, you're now a newborn baby. I said, why? He said, because you have become a Muslim, and our Lord has wiped your slate clean. All your sins. I said, you're sure of that? They say, yeah. So everybody is coming over to me and saying, make a prayer for me, brother. Ask the Lord to forgive me because you're fresh, you're clean. I felt good seeing all these men coming over and hugging, and I'm saying, wow, this is nice. Yeah, you know? Very much, as I tell you, I was a man without order or boundaries. I could do anything I used to do. I would do anything. Islam brought a sense of organization and commitment, because I used to smoke marijuana, I used to drink alcohol. And Islam, the religion, taught me how to get rid of these things. Because the marijuana one, that was the hardest one to get rid of. And I can remember one night I got up to say my prayer, and I couldn't remember Surah Al-Fatiha. I said, how can I forget it? And then I remember, I just smoked that joint. And when you smoke, it puts you in that state of mind where you don't want to do nothing. So I said, I have to give up this. But it's because I read where the Prophet said you have to give up something you love if you want to be a Muslim. And I really loved marijuana. Eat it, drink it, smoke it, everywhere. And believe me, as a Rasta man, my mom, me and her couldn't get on together. Because as a Rasta, we didn't eat pork. And if you go to mom's house, they are always cooking pork. And I know I don't eat pork. So they would cook the pork in the rice and peas, and then you would be eating rice and peas, but you don't see no meat, and you would be eating fish. Then, one day someone let it slip that they put the pork in the rice and peas. So I stopped talking to my mother and my family for a number of years as a Rasta man. Didn't go around them, didn't talk to them, avoided them. Then when Islam came, And he taught me about cutting kins and ties with your, ties with your kins and your mother and thing. And I really believed everything that I was reading. I went back and greeted my mom and tell her, oh, sorry for all that happened, and let's be friends and mother and son again. She loved it. Yeah, she rather me being a Muslim than a Rasta. I used to think of life as you live and you die and that's it. Done, dusted. And when I became a Muslim, and it tells you that when you die, it's just another stage, but on the day Allah will raise you up again to be judged for all your sins and things. And those who have done good will go to heaven without any account. And those who have done bad and will go to the hellfire. But if they are Muslim and they did say, the Shahada and thing to Allah, He would send the Prophet to make intercession and take out who they want to. So I said, well, this is like an insurance policy then. If I'm going to, if I'm going to die, it's better I'm praying to this God than not praying to Him and don't have a chance of coming out like those who won't pray to Him. So from that time on, I decided, yeah, I'm going to try my best, to do as much as I can. Still did that bad things, but then, as I told you, the Quran tells me about asking God for forgiveness, because He forgives again and again and again. So whenever I did something in ignorance, I'd go beg forgiveness and tell Him, I was a bad man, and it just doesn't disappear because I'm a Muslim. I have to be fighting my inner self, I have to be fighting to keep the evil out. Stop drinking alcohol, stop smoking herb, and stop doing all of that. Try to be giving my money to my friends who didn't have to do what they could, and So alhamdulillah, Islam taught me a lot. If you want answers to questions, reason of being alive and why we were born, then Islam and the Quran has all the answers. Put your trust in God and come. They are Muslim like myself here to help and others. So worship Allah and be safe from the fire of hell.